Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As of every week, I upload my weekly fundamental analysis and what I'm looking for and my sentiment and technical analysis. Now, this is my Excel sheet that I use for my fundamental analysis, and we will go into the sentiment analysis. Now, I use some inflation data, some GDP related data, and some labor market data. Okay, I put it 0 as not affecting or stable, +1 inflationary, -1 deflationary. Okay, this is how I rank it. This is not the basis points that I'm anticipating the central bank to have. Now, how I analyze this? Every 1 point on my Excel sheet is equivalent to cutting or hiking 0.25 or 25 basis points. Okay, now let's say that I am anticipating the Reserve Bank of New Zealand to hike by 1 point as of right here. Since they are in a cutting cycle, they will not hike rates, but they will hold rates. Okay, but let's take contrarian example like Japanese yen. They are coming into the 2025 with a hiking cycle. So if here gives me 1, it will the likelihood of the Bank of Japan is to hike 0.25 basis points. But if it gives me 1 right here, the likelihood is that Reserve Bank of Australia will hold rates, okay, not hike by 1 basis point, because here the Reserve Bank of Australia is in a cutting cycle. Okay, now after this analysis, we have this scoring right here. So my conclusion is that the weakest currency now, based on my fundamental analysis, okay, are Euro and US dollar, and the strongest ones are AUD and New Zealand dollar. Okay, so just a reminder, this is everything journaling and my opinion, and there is no financial advice whatsoever. Okay, also to remind you that I am very new to fundamental analysis, to sentiment analysis, not to technical, because I was trying 2 years ago to become a profitable, consistent trader with just technicals, and it didn't work out. I'm now incorporating fundamental analysis and technical and sentiment analysis into my strategy to have an overall trend, and I align my technical analysis to enter at good points. Okay, so weakest uh, currency, in my opinion, are Euro and USD, but the USD data also Trump made a huge win for the US dollar during the election. We shall see now how if these fundamental analysis will play out or not. And the strongest ones are Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, in my opinion. Now, what I analyze for sentiment is the yield curve and the stock market and the COT data. Coming into the stock market. So this is the S&P 500. At this is the last day. We are down 1.32%. Okay. Now the overall trend of the year was very, very, very bullish. We had some retracement, but the overall was bullish. Now the yield curve, the 2-year yields, okay, and the 10-year yields are approximately the same. The 2-year should be lower a little bit from the 10-year. Going into the New Zealand dollar, we have a steeper yield curve. So there is optimism that the the Reserve Bank of New Zealand will hold interest rates right here. Okay. From a euro perspective, if we go to the euro index, euro stock 50 index, okay, this is the high, this is the low. We are at 50%, and previous weeks we had some fall down to the downside. Okay, and the yield curve is approximately steep, but not strongly steep, but we are uh, flat, around flat. Okay. Now going on to the Japanese yen, we have also a steep yield curve, and we are at the highs, but we are consolidating. We shall see what will happen next. Okay, so this is from uh, the stock market and the yield curve analysis. I write it here. Steepest yield curve is the New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen. Stock market of New Zealand dollar is doing fine. Euro stock market is down, and S&P 500 down 1.32%. Also, I take a little bit into consideration, for example, the dairy market, milk futures. Okay, I don't know how it will play out with the analysis, but we have good prices for the dairy, and New Zealand. So New Zealand is a good exporter for milk and dairy. So they have this push of exports, okay, which will have good impact on the GDP. So this is my analysis from a fundamental and a little bit of sentiment. Now we go into the commercial data to finalize the sentiment analysis. Now, this is Euro FX, so Euro against US dollar. It is now a net positioning long into above 80%. So if someone knows about Larry Williams, I took just this small approach, which is if the commercials are net positioning above 80% of the distance from historical data, there is a likelihood that the trend will be bullish. And if they are net positioning below 20%, there's a likelihood that the trend will be bearish. Okay, now Euro FX is bullish, but it started. So 2 weeks ago we were at 31,000, and now we are going down. So this is Euro versus US dollar. And New Zealand dollar USD is now making the lows from the COT data standpoint. Okay, so it's favorable not to trade Euro New Zealand dollar, it's favorable to trade New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. Okay, now I have everything in my mind. I go into the charts. Since I need NZD USD chart, I put it in front of me. I just like to have BTC and XAU USD just to watch them, okay? But I focus now on New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I already marked my chart, so how do I mark it? I go to the weekly time frame. I have this swing high and this swing low right here. Okay, now I go to the daily. We previously had this support zone, and we have this big demand area. We touched this demand area. We also took this low right here at 85,500. Now, since we took the demand area by 100 points, I put my stop loss below 100 points. Okay, so we have here 58,300. I put it 58,250. Now if it comes to the 300s and below 300s, I want the trade to be stopped out. Okay, so from a fundamental perspective, I am bullish. Okay, experts might say that they are bearish, but I am bullish. Also from the COT data, I am bullish. From the stock market, I am bullish. From the yield curve steepness, I am bullish on New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So I just need to time my entry. Now, there is two scenarios that might happen. First one is I enter at the beginning of Sunday's market, okay? At the open, I take a long position immediately, stop loss at this low right here, and this is the 20% area of this high and this low, okay? So this would be a target. Another target would be 1 to 1. Another one would be at the 50% area at the 0.6 or 0.61, okay, at this area right here. So I have multiple targets, but what I prefer is that as long as the fundamentals are bullish and the COT data did not go up into the 80%, I will keep my position running. Okay, so this is my analysis behind it. This is my technical analysis. I might enter at 600, or I might enter when the market opens. Okay, just a reminder, this is not a financial advice, this is just journaling, and hopefully also looking for someone to help me if I'm making any mistakes. For sure I'm making mistakes, looking for someone to help me. If someone watches this video and he's a professional, or he knows about fundamentals and sentiment analysis, and he has a good strategy, and he has a historical data and credible data, I'm looking forward to having a teacher. Okay, so this is everything for this week. This is the pair that I'm focusing on. For sure, I will have a position to enter immediately or Monday. Okay, so Sunday night or Monday, I will have a position open. This is everything for today. I hope this video was insightful for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for weekly analysis.